Welcome to Netrush Report, your home for tennis drama, rivalries, and raw emotion on and off the court. If you live for shocking twists, unforgettable comebacks, and bold commentary, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss a single moment. Nick Kyrgios has barely been seen on the ATP Tour this year. Just 4 tournaments in 2025, that's all we got. The last time he swung a racket in official competition was back in Naomi, where he took out Mackenzie McDonald in style, only to collapse against Karen Khachanov. Khachanov didn't just beat him, he demolished him 7-6, 6-0, leaving Kyrgios once again walking away without answers, without momentum, and with a trail of frustration from fans who keep asking the same thing. Is Nick Kyrgios still a tennis player, or just an entertainer who shows up when he feels like it? And now, in one of the most shocking announcements of the post-US Open season, Kyrgios has been added to the Garden Cup, an exclusive exhibition event at Madison Square Garden on December 8, 2025. He'll be standing alongside names that scream relevance: Aryna Sabalenka, Naomi Osaka, Tommy Paul. But let's be honest, Kyrgios hasn't been relevant on the tennis court in a long time. That's where the fan divide begins. The moment the lineup was announced, tennis Twitter exploded. One fan dropped the mic with this sarcastic jab: "Who keeps inviting Nick Kyrgios? He'll just pull out a day before like always." Another fan piled on, referencing his string of injury withdrawals. This guy has turned pulling out of tournaments into an art form. Exhibition or not, don't expect him to show up. But not everyone was ready to bury Kyrgios. Some came to his defense, insisting that despite his inconsistency, Kyrgios still brings energy, charisma, and ticket sales wherever he goes. One fan passionately tweeted, "You can hate him, but Kyrgios is still the only guy who gets people talking." The Garden Cup just got 10 times more interesting. And they're not wrong. Like him or not, Kyrgios is box office. Even if he flames out, even if he argues with the umpire, even if he smashes a racket on the court, he pulls people in. That's the paradox of Nick Kyrgios. Half of the fan base can't stand him, and the other half can't stop watching. Here's where the criticism hits hardest: exhibitions aren't real tennis. They're for fun, for promotion, for show. And yet, Kyrgios being added to the lineup feels almost symbolic of where his career is at right now. While Osaka is staging a genuine comeback, Sabalenka is fresh off her US Open title defense, and Tommy Paul is climbing the rankings with real ambition, Kyrgios feels like the odd one out. Exhibition tennis has always thrived on personalities, and Kyrgios is undeniably one of the sport's biggest personalities. But exhibitions don't change rankings, they don't test endurance across a season, and they don't prove a player still belongs at the top. For Kyrgios, this Garden Cup isn't about competition. It's about keeping his name alive in the sport, even as his playing career drifts further into the shadows. But then, things got even juicier. Nick Kyrgios and Aryna Sabalenka dropped hints about a modern battle of the sexes match. For context, the original battle of the sexes dates back to 1973, when Billie Jean King stunned Bobby Riggs in one of the most iconic matches in sports history. It wasn't just about tennis, it was about gender equality, visibility, and proving that women belonged on the same stage as men. Now, over 50 years later, Kyrgios and Sabalenka are teasing a revival. Sabalenka, speaking to People magazine, said, "Kyrgios, being Kyrgios, couldn't resist poking fun. He shot back on social media with a cheeky reply. Classic Nick. On one hand, arrogant. On the other hand, brutally entertaining." The reactions here were just as divided as the exhibition announcement. Some fans were thrilled. This would be epic. Kyrgios versus Sabalenka would draw huge numbers. Others rolled their eyes. We've seen this movie before. He'll talk big and then pull out injured. And then there were the traditionalists, who argued that reviving the battle of the sexes risks turning tennis into a gimmick rather than a sport. But here's the truth. Kyrgios thrives in this space. He's not the guy who wins 5-set marathons anymore. He's not the guy grinding at small ATP 250s. He's the guy who thrives in spectacle, in controversy, in crossover entertainment. And this battle of the sexes would be tailor-made for him. Let's pause and put Kyrgios' career in perspective. He's still only 30. He's still one of the most naturally gifted shot makers of his generation. And yet, he has just one Grand Slam final to his name, at Wimbledon 2022, where he lost to Novak Djokovic. Since then, a mix of injuries, withdrawals, side projects, and the occasional comeback that fizzles out. For many fans, Kyrgios is the ultimate what could have been story. A player with the talent of a champion but the discipline of a showman. And maybe that's okay. Maybe Kyrgios was never meant to be a 10-time slam winner. Maybe he was meant to be the guy who brought chaos to tennis, the guy who broke the mold, the guy who reminded everyone that sports are also about entertainment. So why does this story matter? Because Nick Kyrgios still makes tennis unpredictable. When he shows up, you never know if you're going to get a brilliant tweener winner, a meltdown at the umpire, or a straight-set withdrawal after 30 minutes. And that unpredictability, frustrating as it is, keeps his name in every conversation. Whether it's an exhibition in New York, a cheeky tweet at Sabalenka, or a viral clip from practice, Kyrgios refuses to fade away quietly. The Garden Cup is set for December 8th, and all eyes will be on whether Kyrgios actually steps onto that Madison Square Garden court. If he does, expect fireworks. If he doesn't, expect outrage. Either way, Kyrgios has already won, because we're talking about him again. And that's the Nick Kyrgios effect. So what do you think? Will Nick Kyrgios actually show up at Madison Square Garden, or will this be another false alarm? And do you want to see him take on Aryna Sabalenka in a modern battle of the sexes? Or do you think it's all just hype? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because we love hearing your takes. This has been Netrush Report, where the drama of tennis never sleeps. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss the next twist in the wild world of tennis. Until next time, stay tuned and stay passionate.